What's going on, my crew? This is Rusty, and welcome to another episode of Rusty's Adventures. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what in the world is going on? Yeah, I have made the switch to shaders. And today, in this episode, we're going to talk about it, as well as talking about why it's so sad that I've decided to use them now. But first, let's talk about why I'm using them. Because it's beautiful, and I've always wanted to use them, but I honestly have been afraid. Shaders have been known to cause extreme lag, like I'm kind of getting right now. I have set up my computer a little bit more efficiently so that I can deal with some of the things that the shaders are giving. Like, you know, a lot of the rendering and things like that, taking up space on the RAM, and set myself up pretty good to deal with that. Right now, it's actually not. It's acting up. So that's kind of sucky. I was kind of hoping that for what I was doing, it would work for me. Actual recording. I recorded a little bit ago, and I was getting a pretty steady 30 frames per second, just sort of walking around. But depending on how this looks, which to me, even though it's at 20 right now, it's... Oh, now it's picking up to 30. Much better. Oh, back down to 20. Come on. But I want to do this for a little bit because in a couple episodes from now, literally 2, this whole thing is going to have to go bye-bye. And that's because hopefully, if what we're being told is true, on Wednesday we're going to get a Minecraft update to the snapshot 1.9 snapshot. And I'm really, really excited. 1.9 snapshot is, I think, going to be extremely, extremely helpful. We're going to be getting purple blocks. And I know some of you guys are like, what? Why does that matter? But the only purple block that we've been able to access is obsidian, which is ridiculously hard to get and ridiculously hard to build with. If you want any of it, you're going to have to get a really awesome pickaxe. And then you're going to have to really sort of mine out for hours. And I mean hours. So it'd be nice to get some purple blocks that aren't that difficult to get. So let's just take it all in, guys. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm also using the fancy skies, which aren't that fancy as BOO has it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but yeah. But boy, I am so excited to use this. It looks so great, especially now that things are loaded up and it's nice and 30 frames per second. It just really makes me sad that I kind of figured out that I could run this now that the updates are coming. So I just want to take you guys through these things, the towns, and kind of walk you through, show you what's going on, and hopefully by the end of the day here, we'll be at the end and we can see the sunset in a nice, beautiful location. So yeah, these streets, there's the shadows that just make things look so much better, and it's really helpful for building, especially with this shader pack. Am I using the right one? Maybe I'm not using the right shader pack. Hold on. No, I want to use Kuda. Kuda is my favorite shader pack. Because, first of all, it's a little bit brighter, which well, a little less bright out here, and a little more bright right here. And it seems like whenever I start up, it like defaults to Kuda. But what I like about Kuda is it's got this really neat building tool that allows me to pick or see which blocks I'm picking. So when I'm counting blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, it will allow me to easily... that hitbox is off. That's interesting. It'll allow me to easily pick or count the blocks rather than what you usually have, which is your like... let me show you a good example. on this grass part. We're like 1, 2. Wait, is this? I think this is 3, and you get off. So, oh, let's take a look down here. Show you why I like Cuda better than the shaders or Zeus. Which, by the way, I found out I can turn fire spread off and make this a lot nicer. So this is Cuda. This is the Zeus shaders. A little bit darker, a little more contrasty. So I think Cuda, first of all, Cuda, I get a steady 30 frames per second. So this is a lot easier for me to use. Although it's not as graphically intense in my opinion, it still looks really nice. And I think as a builder, it's more what I'm looking for. The colors are really, really vibrant. And that's, if I was to paint a picture, that's the way I'd want it. Look at this. And I love the way the clouds are better than the shader or the Zeus. So let's take another look. Okay, so this is Cuda. And this is Zeus. So a lot more defined, yes. But I personally like Cuda clouds better because they're a lot more fluffy. A lot less detail sort of that is put into it. And if you look up at the sky, clouds are different. So they're not always that pretty shade also. It's a lot darker in Cuda, which is one thing that I don't like underwater. Hard to see, even though I have on me the Aqua Affinity. But, you know, you take the good with the bad. And this one I like better. So, really, really excited about a couple things. So I've been looking at upgrading my computer, and I've been using a USB drive in the back of my computer set to what they call Ready Boost, which means that I'm running a USB drive for extra RAM, which they don't recommend doing. I mean, you can, whatever you want, but it's not really going to help you. In fact, it'll make things a little bit worse if you have enough RAM. But I've been finding out, even though I have 6 gigabytes of RAM, running Minecraft takes up so much RAM. Look at that. That is going to be our wonderful and beautiful, what is it? I don't think it's F5. I think it's F3. No, it's not F3. F2. That is a beautiful picture right there. Shoot, what was I talking about? Oh, if you don't have enough, even though I have 6 gigabytes of RAM, it's so RAM intensive that having a little bit extra is really making a big difference for me. So I've got the Ready Boost plugged in and boosting my FPS, boosting my what I can do, the capabilities of my computer. Oh, look at that. So awesome. The only thing I don't like about these is when you have a waterfall like this, it's bouncy. Very unrealistic. Water doesn't bounce like Jello. But anyways, so yeah, been running this. I got a new keyboard, mouse, and speakers. And so it's going to take me a little while to get used to all the speakers or all the new controls and things like that. I now run Sprint off of my mouse, which I've been wanting to have a Sprint button instead of just doing the double click, because sometimes the double click doesn't work. So if you can get yourself a Sprint button, it's much easier to deal with not high pressured situations, but what am I thinking of? I don't know. But my keyboard is LED lit underneath, which is a nice help in the dark, which I don't usually play in the dark, but you know, occasionally it'll happen. So that's awesome. And Why have I gotten off the path? Let's try and get back on the path, because when we get to the path, you guys are going to see how awesome it is. And I think if we do things right, there it is, we'll catch the sunset at just the right time. So this thing is awesome. We're seeing the sun lit through in this area. Let me get in the right position as we walk through. Nice dusk-esque time, maybe like 7 o'clock in summertime. Walking through this beautiful lit path, which I want to make more dense with trees in some areas. And kind of coming around. And then we enter into the town. And you guys are seeing the nice warm sunset here. Very much summertimey. We'll go up to the top here, and this is where we'll be able to see our nice sunset. So we got the nicer skies. I got the nicer skies from that. There's this one resource pack. And look at this. It doesn't give me as nice of a sunset, but when that sun goes down, all of a sudden, things start to look really nice. And the stars should start to pop out. There they are. What I would love to see, and I would think about it. Oh, the sun's completely down. Look at that. Twinkle of the stars. And look at our town. Little volcano up there. It's awesome, guys. It is incredible. What I would like to see is the occasional, just like in Skyrim, Northern Lights. That would be amazing. And I would love to get a mod like that, especially if it was compatible with the newer versions. But just look at this. Look. It is freaking beautiful. Our world that we've been working on so hard in a normal looking environment. I mean, when we have the reflections like this, it's, you don't look underneath the water. You look over the top and you see the reflections of the quiet lake, and you just think to yourself, it's beautiful. When in normal Minecraft, you just see this. You just see the little bubbles and the dirt underneath, and you don't have the ability to really take the time to look. But I really want to take the time to take all this stuff in and then build with it in the next episode, because I'm hoping that when 1.9 comes out, I'm assuming that there's going to be quite a massive break before the next snapshot. So as soon as they come out with a 1.9 shaders and a 1.9 Optifine and all that stuff, I really, really, really want to get it and play with it, because this is really going to step up our building, and it enhances. It doesn't. It's not like a texture pack where the art form is completely gone. We're using the same textures and the same things, but the difference here is that we are basically painting using the same materials and the same canvas, but with a much better paintbrush that is very high quality. If you can understand that, a much more fine-tuned. I mean, look at the snow. Look at, it's just so beautiful. And I want to actually go back to this valley right here for a second, because there was one point I kind of looked out all around me and just was stunned at how awesome this place is. If we come right over here, and it's like I've been here in vanilla and gone, wow, this is really pretty. But you stick this into the shaders mod and just look at that. the vines are moving in the background, which really gives you this feeling like, hey, some things are moving. Some things are, this place is alive. Even though, yes, it has people in it, it's alive with the wind and all that. And just, can't even begin to explain how I feel about all of it. I'm just excited for the next episode where we're going to build a little bit in this place. But I just wanted to show you guys our world in this mod pack so that you guys can appreciate and understand. Look at the color. Look at this color. We still need to put a lapis block up there, but just so much more vibrant. And I'll be really excited to, in the future, spend some time. But I think we're going to spend a little bit of time in this area right here. Or maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we're going to spend it. But I'm going to take some time off camera and figure out where I want to build. And we're going to go do some building in this shaders pack. And then in the next episode, we're probably going to have to say bye-bye to it and play in the new snapshot. But it's going to be fun while it lasts, and I'm honestly super, super excited to even get to play this for a little bit. So until next time, happy mining and crafting.